Hi. So let us all study Kali Bichromicum today. Before we begin, I think let us revise. We should revise about what we have already known about Kali Bichromicum. So what do you remember? The Kali Bichromicum that I remember from my college, Materia, Medica, Viva, exams. How was that Kali Bichromicum? To understand that, let us go through the few keynotes of Kali. We remember Kali Bichromicum with pains that can be pointed by fingertips, pains that were rapidly shifting, cramps in various parts of the body, tearing pains in different parts of the body. So Allen's encyclopedia says drawing tearing pains, suddenly jumping from one place to another, and the patient is better by moving that part. Right? The movement ameliorates. What else? Kali Bichromicum was also known for rheumatic pains. So rheumatic pains that shifted places very easily in different parts of the body. Rheumatic pains that would alternate with GI symptoms. This keynote can be differentiated with the abrotinum keynote because it has a similar complaint, that rheumatic pains which alternates with hemorrhoids or with the dysentery. Right? Cracking in joints of vertebra or of the limbs. Then we have neuralgia. Neuralgia that occurs at same hour every single day. So if it's at 1 p.m. it's 1 p.m. If it is at 5 p.m. it's 5 p.m. But recurring neuralgia at the same time every day. There is discomfort in the morning with uneasiness and a generalized sick feeling in the afternoon. Disinclination to rise from the bed accompanied with weakness. The keynote that I remember the most is tough, stringent mucus discharge which adheres to the part and can be drawn into long strings. You know what? This keynote is also present in crocus. The only difference is that in crocus the discharges are dark, black, whereas Kali Bichromicum discharges can be yellow or green. The patients have liability to take cold in open air and complaints that occur in hot weather. It is also known for respiratory symptoms. Respiratory symptoms like cough which is rattling, hoarse, metallic with dyspnea. And the dyspnea of Kali Bichromicum is ameliorated on lying down. It is different from the other remedies of asthma where patient is aggravated on lying down and has to sit up, whether he sits lying front or lying on back, resting or leaning forward. Whereas Kali Bichromicum patients, the dyspnea is better on lying down. It is a very important remedy for migraines. The migraines, especially for the pains where you find blurriness of the vision or blindness that precedes the pain. So there is an aura, migraines with aura and aura that pertains to the eye. For those kinds of migraine, Kali Bichromicum is a very important remedy. And of course, we have the ulcers of Kali Bichromicum. Right? But what else? What is Kali Bichromicum? Who is Kali Bichromicum? The interesting thing about this remedy is that it is made up of two components, potassium and chromium. And the best part is that both potassium and chromium, they belong to row 4. And the row 4 is the row which has qualities like task, duty, then security, stability, money, finance, house, strength, health, etc. So row 4 has these qualities and both the components of this remedy belong to row 4. So all the qualities are enhanced here. Right? Amongst all the Kalis, if we have to differentiate, we can say that Kali Ars, Kali Bichromicum, Kali Phos and Kali Iode are the syphilitic remedies. And even amongst these 4, Kali iode and Kali Bichromicum are the most syphilitic remedies of the Kali group of remedies. What does Kali Bichromicum have more? So it has a bit more egocentricity, a bit more ambition, and a bit more willpower. Right? Another thing about Kalis is all Kalis have stubborn chronicity of complaints, old long-lasting complaints. So all Kalis can be given in subacute or chronic symptomatology or chronic diseases. Right? Owing to the bichromate element of Kali Bichromicum, the chromium which brings the shine, the strength and the tenacity, Kali Bichromicum patients are industrious and adherent mentally as well as physically. They are reserved, routine-oriented individuals with very rigid and proper principles. They cannot be easily swayed. What they believe is what they believe. They are very headstrong and obstinate. It is very difficult to teach or train them because they believe that what they know is right. So it is difficult if you tell them do it this way, they will not accept it because your way might be wrong, yet he is right. They will not accept anybody else's point of view. Like other Kalis, it has tremendous love for family. But Kali Bichromicum likes family, only family. It has like fear of crowd, fear of aversion to strangers, right? So along with the love for family, they don't have any other, they don't like people in general, right? It's the family what is important to them. The family that they consider theirs. So while I was preparing this for this session, I went through various Materia Medicas and the rubrics of Kali Bichromicum. See, the interesting thing is that Kali Bichromicum also covers 4 very unique rubrics like antics plays, cheerful, excitable, laughing, which we don't find otherwise. I mean, the whole Kali Bichromicum picture, there are only 4 rubrics like this. So what I understood was that the patient has good humor and is very inclined to laugh. But along with that, there is hypersensitivity and narrow-mindedness. So because of this hypersensitivity and narrow-mindedness and the rigidity, they get annoyed very easily when things don't go according to their own way. We can say that they are conservationalist in the sense that they not in the values but in their own beliefs. So not the values that you would feel that they are that they are very conservative people, but what they believe, they believe in it. So in that sense, they are conservationalist. Now if we go to annoyance, it's even more interesting. Usually what happens is, anytime anyone gets annoyed or there is annoyance, it is always mostly followed by irritability or anger, right? So you get annoyed and then you get irritated. But these patients, this annoyance is followed by sadness, and the sadness that can lead to weeping. There is an indifference or depressive feeling after annoyance with physical distress. They develop ill humor and disinclination for business. They get gloomy and indifferent. T.F. Allen writes in the Materia Medica and Homeopathic Therapeutics, he says discouragement amounting to ennui. So intellectually he is unable to attend his business and is obliged to rest. Now what does this rest do? This rest makes him better and is able to work, but the ill humor and the intolerable feeling of sickness and distress remains. So very often these patients, they seem stupid, like they are listless. So they are so listless that you feel that they are imbecile or stupid individuals. But if you ask them questions, they will answer you in a very proper way, right? There is listlessness, there is languor with weakness of memory, but on questioning, they can think and they can answer well. So what is the feeling of Kali Bichromicum? The main feeling is being hurt, being injured by the family. Right? Now see, these patients, as we saw before, that they love their family. They don't like rest of the people much. They are in fact scared of crowds. And so the family hurts them. So what will they do? They cannot even share it to anyone because there is no one. Right? So they are very reserved people. They will keep things inside them, go on thinking about it. They keep the feelings to themselves, right? And these feelings of anger, irritability, hurt, they get repressed. And repressed anger and irritability may then shift from mental plane to physical plane, causing rheumatism or arthritis, especially of the wandering type. If these conflicts or feelings remain unresolved, then this unresolved conflicts can lead to formation of ulcers, as patient does not know how to cope up with it. This is what we saw in our patients. The ulcers which began because of typhoid, but the recurrent formation of ulcers that went on and on and on because of the conflicts that were unresolved. She could not get out of her way of thinking and accept or adapt to new way of thinking. Right? And that was the conflict, and that led to ulcer, and so the remedy that we thought was Kali Bichromicum, and it worked on it. Usually we find patients at this stage, and so majority of the rubrics cover the listlessness, the sadness, the weeping, and the mild irritability of Kali Bichromicum. This is all for today. We might discuss some another remedy next time. Thank you.